If one day your little sister asks you, or rather assumes, to spend her honeymoon at your house, how would you react? The story begins with a lakeside house, a place that was once a familiar family retreat, filled with countless childhood memories. In 2017, I bought the house from my parents to help cover my sister's university tuition, a decision I thought was the right one at the time. I moved in, settled into stable work, and considered it truly my home. But just a few months before her wedding, my sister suddenly declared she would stay over for 2 weeks to spend her honeymoon at my house, as if it were a given. When I refused, everything fell apart. It turned out she had no idea all these years that I was the legal owner of the house. To understand this fully, we need to go back to late 2016 when it all began. I had just turned 24 and had been working for a few years. With an independent mindset early on, I started saving for my very first paycheck. I didn't have my own home then, but I always dreamed of owning a place. Not just somewhere to live, but a space I built and controlled entirely. At the same time, there was big news in the family. My sister, our parents' beloved youngest, was accepted into her dream university. Not just any school, but one of the most prestigious in the country. The whole family was ecstatic with pride. I was happy for her, knowing this was a major milestone in her life. About a week later, I got a call from my parents. They asked if I had found a house yet, knowing I was looking at a few options. I hadn't. Then my dad surprised me with an offer to buy the lakeside house, the one where our family had vacationed every summer. I was shocked. I didn't think they would want to sell it, so I asked why. Their answer stunned me. They needed money to pay for my sister's tuition. She didn't get the scholarship she hoped for, nor could she qualify for a student loan. And my parents couldn't afford to cover everything. I asked, why not let her take out a loan like other students? They said, we don't want her to start her life in debt. It could hurt her credit later. Honestly, I felt a bit annoyed. Not because they wanted to help my sister, but because it felt like they expected me to just say yes. Still, I wasn't heartless. That house held so many beautiful memories with my grandparents, parents, and siblings. I didn't want strangers to buy it. If it had to be sold, at least let me preserve those memories. After a few days of thinking, I agreed to buy it. I paid in full, signed the official transfer papers, and became the legal owner of the lakeside house in 2017. From then on, not only did I keep a piece of my childhood, but I also started a new chapter as an adult responsible for my own life. But I never expected that 7 years later, someone in the family would still think I was just freeloading. And ironically, that person was the one I had helped the most. After finalizing everything and officially owning the house, I felt strange, more grown up and relieved, but also a bit nostalgic. Not because of the money, but because I realized that the house was no longer the family home. It once was. It was mine, a true personal asset. At the time, I was working in tech, mostly needing just a computer and internet connection. Commuting was optional, so I thought, why not live somewhere peaceful, the place of my childhood summers? The only issue was the house didn't have good internet. It was just a vacation home after all. But in the tech era, that was fixable. I invested in some upgrades, better internet, replaced old furniture, refinished the wooden floors, and painted the house. Nothing extravagant, just enough to make it a modern, comfortable home. I didn't want it to be a museum of memories, but I also didn't want to lose the soul of the old house. So I kept some old items. The brass chandelier my grandfather fixed, old family photos from summer vacations, the worn wooden table where my siblings and I played board games during power outages. When everything was ready, I moved in full time. The first morning waking up in the new, yet old, house, I felt deep peace. No city smog, no noise, just a calm lake surface and birdsong lulling me awake. I adjusted to the new rhythm, enjoying the quiet space to work more effectively. Flexible hours let me be professional and take care of myself. I exercised more, cooked more, and felt like I was truly living, not just surviving in a cramped rented apartment. By 2019, my girlfriend, whom I'd known for over a year, started visiting more often. She loved nature, quiet, and especially the cozy atmosphere I created. At first, weekends only, then longer stays, and eventually she moved in with me. It was natural and unhurried. We didn't make grand declarations, just the right feeling being together, and the house became part of that journey. Then in 2020, when the pandemic forced everyone to stay put, we were more ready than ever. While many couples rushed to live together out of necessity, we already had a stable home. The lakeside house, once my childhood dream, became a safe haven amid global turmoil. I used to think I was just a sacrificial older brother by buying the house for my sister's education. But over time, I realized that decision didn't just help her. It gave me a life I never thought I'd have. Peaceful, autonomous, and truly owning my space. But that same decision, a few years later, sparked a deep misunderstanding when my own family, especially my sister, never knew the house was never shared property. The following years were mostly calm. I continued to live and work in the lakeside house I restored, making it a real home. My girlfriend, now my long-term partner, shared life there, from quiet mornings with coffee to cold nights baking together. We lived quietly, modestly, but happily. Though I rarely saw family due to distance, I kept in touch, especially with my sister. She was still the cherished one at home, a fact I had long accepted. Sometimes it annoyed me, but I didn't blame anyone. I carved my own path, independent and content. She was different, groomed early, with parents paving the way for her. In 2019, my sister announced a serious relationship with her college boyfriend. They got engaged shortly after, planning a wedding for 2020. But then the pandemic hit. Like many couples, they postponed the wedding and moved in together to save money. My parents, having saved for a big wedding, still hope to give her a worthy celebration once things improved. Fast forward to early 2024. As the pandemic eased, my sister's wedding was back on for December. The family buzzed with excitement. I was added to the family chat about ceremonies, wedding dress invitations, and roles on the big day. My sister even privately asked me to be her best man, which touched me. Though not very close, I thought, sure, she's my sister. Everything seemed fine, until one evening my sister called and asked a question I thought was a joke. Where are you planning to stay for 2 weeks after my wedding? I was confused. At home, of course. What do you mean? Her voice dropped. Well, me and my fiancé planned a honeymoon there, at the lake house. Mom and Dad said it's okay. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. She meant my house, where I'd lived with my girlfriend for years, and she talked as if it was already arranged. I tried to stay calm. You mean you and your husband will live in my house for 2 weeks after the wedding? Yeah, the lake house. We always called it grandparents' house when we were kids. I like it there. Quiet, romantic, and it saves a lot on hotels. I immediately replied, but that's my house. Did you ask me first? She sounded shocked, then annoyed. Mom and Dad said you're just staying there temporarily. I thought it was the old family house, not something you bought yourself. That sentence stunned me. My sister, the person I'd sacrificed so much for, had never been told the truth. The house was legally mine, bought by me years ago. Shock turned to anger, not because she wanted to stay there, but because this plan had been made behind my back, based on a lie, or at least a deliberate silence from my parents. That was just the beginning of unexpected tension. After that tense call, I hung up, my mind spinning. I didn't just feel my privacy was violated. I was deeply hurt. As an older brother who'd given up a family asset to help her study, now I was treated like an obstacle to her happiness. Before I could process, my phone rang again that night. It was my mom. Before I could greet her, she reproached, "Why were you so harsh with your sister? She's worked hard planning this wedding for a year, been delayed several times. She just wants a honeymoon somewhere she loves. What harm is there to you?" I patiently explained, "Mom, that's my house. I bought it with my own money. I live there with my girlfriend. I can't just let others stay for 2 weeks without discussing it first, especially after the wedding. I'm not comfortable." She interrupted, "Come on, you're family. Is it really worth making such a big deal over 2 weeks?" I sighed. "Mom, Ownership isn't just about family ties. I don't want to create conflict, but I also need respect. The conversation ended without resolution. Over the next weeks, I tried talking to my sister and parents multiple times, but everyone insisted the house was still family property and that I should share. That was when I realized the old house I'd bought to protect memories was now a battleground of misunderstandings and expectations. If you want, I can also help polish the story for storytelling flow or for a more emotional tone in English. Would you like me to do that? Weeks passed with silence. I kept my distance, hoping time would calm tempers, but the tension lingered like a fog over every family conversation. It wasn't until one cold November evening that I got a surprise call, this time from my dad. His voice was softer than usual. No lectures, no defenses. Just, "Son, can we talk?" He came over that weekend. I had mixed feelings, but I agreed. When he arrived, I made tea, and we sat by the fireplace, the same fireplace he once built with his father. For a moment, we just sat quietly. Then he spoke. "I owe you an apology. Your mother and I, we made a mistake not telling your sister the truth. We thought we were protecting her, sparing her guilt, but in the end, we made it worse. I didn't say anything. I just listened. When you bought this house, we were proud, but part of us still saw it as a family's. That wasn't fair to you. You didn't just keep this house alive. You gave it new life, and we didn't respect that." He paused and added, "Your sister was shocked when we told her the full story. She cried, not because she didn't get the honeymoon she wanted, but because she finally realized how much you gave up for her." That caught me off guard. I had imagined her being angry, maybe resentful, but regretful? "She wanted to come say it in person," he continued, "but didn't know how to face you yet. She asked me to tell you she's sorry, and that she understands now." That evening, for the first time in a long while, I felt a weight lift. I told him, I never meant to hurt her. I just wanted some acknowledgement, some respect for my space. I don't mind sharing if people just ask. He smiled. "She knows, and she hopes. Maybe you'll come to the wedding?" I hesitated, but deep down I knew I wanted to go. So in December, I showed up, not out of obligation, but out of love. When I arrived at the venue, my sister saw me from across the room. Her eyes widened, then filled with tears. She walked up slowly, hesitating. Then she hugged me, tightly. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I should have asked. I should have known." I need more words. I hugged her back. "It's okay," I said. "It's all behind us now." That night, the wedding was beautiful, full of laughter, family, and forgiveness. My girlfriend and I danced, drank wine, and cheered like we were teenagers again. And a week later, I did something unexpected. I offered my sister and her husband a lake house for a weekend. Just a weekend. They accepted, with full gratitude and no assumptions. When they arrived, they treated the home with care, even bringing us a handmade thank you card and a photo of the two of them on the dock, where we used to fish as kids. That photo now sits in a small frame on my bookshelf, next to old family albums and a wooden puzzle my grandfather once carved. Years ago, I bought that house to protect memories. Now, I realize I didn't just protect them. I helped create new ones. And for the first time in a long while, the lake house feels like what was always meant to be. Not just mine, not just the family's, but a home shared in love, not assumed by right.